Okay.
All righty. So it's exciting, and more people are coming in as we start here. So Cindy and I are excited. Have we muted everybody?
Hang on, let me mute. You're about to unmute, Doria, once I do it.
Okay,
Okay, unmute. There you go.
got it. I got it. Okay. So Cindy and I are excited that you had taken the time this evening to join us as we share about this wonderful technology that's changing the view of how we see healthcare. And so first and foremost, we have to give you our disclaimer. So what we're about to show you and what you're about to hear from the videos that we're going to be you're going to be seeing, and also hearing a testimony at the end, is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or medical condition. So we are honored to have a guest, B. Harrison, that Cindy's going to introduce later. She's our special guest. So first want to, so thankful that Cindy, she's my partner in crime for Nurse Talk, and we've been doing this since January. So I want you to hear a little bit more about her. And so Cindy, just kind of share your story of how you came to know about ASEA and what you currently do. I mean, you're a nurse, and so share, what field you're in, and how ASEA has helped you.
Okay. Yes, I am a nurse here in Nashville, and I'm actually working hospice. So I really see the benefits of not having your redox balance going, for sure. So about 4 years, I was introduced to redox through Barbie Bassett. And at that time, I'd been having some health challenges that I had discovered when I lived in Mississippi. So back in about 2015, I started noticing things and went to a doctor, didn't get what I wanted, went to the second doctor, didn't get what I wanted. Finally went to the third practitioner, and it was a functional medicine practitioner, and I got the proper diagnosis of my health challenge. So with that, I started digging in deep, looking for alternative ways for health and looking for more holistic and natural ways, things that were not non-toxic to our bodies. So when I came across ASEA, this was perfect. And with this, the more I'm on it and the more I hear people's testimonials, I'm just so convinced how this is working and what this can do. And we're learning more and more about this technology. We're still learning what it can do, and I think we'll continue in that area. But I started thinking about something as a nurse with this product, whether I'm a nurse or not, but with this product, I have the ability to affect more people and help them with health challenges than I ever could in the field of nursing. Because you think about it, my area of touching people is within 3 feet, or as Denny Robinson or maybe it was Trish Winkler says, in the 3 feet circle, if there's no one there, I just move closer to somebody. So everybody I come in contact with daily, whether in person, on the phone, just doing live, I can share this technology with them. And you can't do that as a nurse, Doria, you know that. So we can't even give an aspirin or a Tylenol without a doctor's order. I mean, how many people take that on their own at home? So we're very limited with what we can do with sharing things with people that have health challenges. So with this, I'm just so convinced, and because of what it's done for me, I technically was tested positive for 4 autoimmune challenges. Mainly had symptoms of 1, but at this point, I have no symptoms of any of the 4, and I'm not on any prescription medication. So that's a win-win. My energy is great. And I'm just going to continue as to what it can do. And with this, when they get on it, people sometimes will say, well, I don't feel anything. And then I ask them, are you feeling your cholesterol medicine working? If you're on cholesterol medicine, are you feeling your vitamins working or your supplements working? No, because it takes time. Any challenge we have didn't happen overnight. So it's going to take months, maybe a year or so, to get everything back in balance. And at the end, we may talk. There's some amazing books that I kind of collected and I've been reading through. And it's not necessarily related to the company. It just talks about redox balance or imbalance and how that affects your health. So I will always be on redox, and because I know what it's doing and what it can do, and I want to possibly prevent anything as well. So
that's amazing. Yeah. So how big is this, Cindy?
It's massive. Everybody will hear about this eventually. I realize a lot of people don't know about it yet, but we are in 33 countries. So obviously it's going across the pond. So yeah, definitely going to be big. I think it's going to change healthcare because of the fact of what it can do and the no toxicity, no interaction with anything you're already doing. It can actually enhance whatever you're doing. Why not? I mean, why not try this? Why not do it? So yeah.
Excellent. Awesome. It's wonderful. Thank you for sharing. Thank you.
Joya, what's your story?
So I have been a nurse for 41 years. I've been in the arena of medical surgical nursing for most of my career, but most recently I have been working in a gastroenterology clinic. So I'm a recovery room nurse where patients have procedures. This was introduced to me by a very dear friend who's a dentist that lives in my area, Dr. Bill Williams. And I think him knowing that I was always open. I'm a traditional nurse, but yet I'm, like Cindy said, I'm also open to alternative ways of healing. And so I think he thought, this might be something that I'd like to look at. And so, I did my due diligence, as most nurses do and people that are in the medical field. I went to PubMed and the neat thing is you can go to PubMed, put in redox signaling molecules and put any type of condition in there, and it'll be a whole array of articles that are populated there. But what I loved about it, and I know Cindy mentioned it about this is non-toxic. It works at the cellular level. And, our bodies, without these redox signaling molecules, our systems won't function very well. So these molecules are made to communicate and to activate as they receive the molecules within the system. But what I loved about that, I think what really piqued my interest was, Cindy, is that I watched the Genesis story, and the Genesis story is about how our company said no to big pharma. And as you know, as Cindy, as a nurse, we've given medications out to our patients over the years. And most of the time when we give a medication has a bundle of side effects with that. So with this, it's non-toxic. But what I love about the company is that they said no to big pharma. I'm just wondering, we probably wouldn't even be on the Zoom tonight if they had said yes to big pharma. And if they had said yes to them, it would have either been so expensive for people to have access to, or it would have been shelved. And I'm sure there's a lot of things out there that are probably sitting on the shelf of pharmaceutical companies because they didn't want to get it out. So I think that's what really piqued my interest. It was a pivotal point in my life, thinking, I need to share this to as many people as I possibly can. In nursing, have I made an impact? Maybe a little bit, even in my 40 years of nursing, but I can make a greater impact by sharing this technology. So, I just said yes. But, for me, at first, I thought, I don't have any health challenges. I really didn't really see at first, what it would do for me because I am healthy. But little to my surprise, after being a nurse for so long, it's the nature of the beast because you just have wear and tear on your body. But as I was taking the molecules, I'd say after the third day that I took it, I slept through the night for the first time in 40 years, slept, just as peaceful and sound sleep. And then I noticed that, after working 12-hour shifts, that my joints, my back, I had no discomfort. Like after working a long 12-hour shift, I had no issues with that. So, and then lastly, what I love about this is that my medicine cabinet that was filled with a lot of over-the-counter medications in there, I no longer use those anymore because I don't deal with those types of ailments. So I will always be on this product. It's something, I'll take for the rest of my life. And I'm so thankful that the company said yes, to, so that people could find out about it.
Absolutely. Pull up one thing here in just a moment. So we do have a great guest on tonight, Bea Harrison. I met Bea in Gulfport. I mean, not Gulfport. She's from Biloxi, or from the coastal area of Mississippi. I met her in Charlotte, North Carolina, a couple of months ago, and heard her story, and I was just blown away. So we love meeting people and hearing their stories. That's part of this business. So we're going to have her on tonight, and I'll introduce her a little bit later. But first of all, I ran across a different video I wanted to try and just show to y'all. This is from a doctor, Dr. Mark, and I may butcher his name. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing this correctly. Dr. Mark Debrincat. So we'll hear him and hear his take on redox molecules. So let me go to that video. Hold on one moment here.
Today I'm here to talk about redox signaling molecules. So many of you maybe have never heard those words in a row before and actually know what that is. And so let me share. The inside of every one of our cells in our body, now remember we have over 100 trillion cells, and the inside of every one of those cells is filled with fluid. Well, that fluid is called redox signaling molecules. Now it's a very important fluid because it provides information to share with neighboring cells about what's going on in their world, in their environment. If there's something attacking that cell and interfering with the function of that cell, it needs to share that information with the cells adjacent. And so we have these things called hydrophilic channels that open up like an aperture of a camera. And as that opens up, it literally sends light energy from one cell to the next to share information about what's been going on in that cell or attacking that cell. And that allows the neighboring cells to adapt so that they don't get damaged by whatever that invader is. So think of being in a hotel room and you have several family members that are in the adjoining rooms that have an adjoining door on the inside. And if somebody was trying to break into my door on the outside, I'm going to open up these inside doors and tell everybody to be ready because there's something bad happening outside. That's much how the lining of our gut is designed and built. And we need these redox signaling molecules to be able to send that information about what's going on in that gut and how we can defend against all the bacteria that's maybe overcoming and trying to invade and damage part of that gut lining. So why is this subject even important? Well, it's really interesting that every decade of your life, you lose 10% of the fluid in those cells. So if you think of a young cell, a healthy young cell, it's much like a round ball that's tight. Now, every decade of life, you lose 10% of the air. It doesn't look so round anymore. It gets more flat or more like a disc. So for those of us that are over 50 years old, we're functioning on half the fluid in our cells that we used to have when we were thriving and healthy. So this is an amazing supplement that you can take that we can actually restore that redox signaling molecules in each and every one of your cells. Now the process to do that takes 8 weeks of taking this product in order to fully get your cells full again. Now that's super important because our immunity depends on that, the function of our digestive system depends on that, the balancing of our hormones depend on that, but one of the most important things I like is the effect it has on the nervous system and allowing your nervous system to thrive and function. So many of you know I specialize in brain health and severe brain and spinal trauma. And so many of those patients that have had trauma to the brain, they've lost what we call the dominant frequency, which is the most important part of our brain. It's our true potential of what our brain can do. And this is one of the only products, supplement-wise, that we can take that will literally help grow a myelin sheath back around that brain and turn the cortex into very healthy, viable tissue once again. So this is something that they thought was impossible to do. Once your brain tissue's been damaged, you can't grow that back. So we do neurofeedback training to aggressively grow the tissue back and to reprogram the way the nervous system is functioning. But we also use those redox signaling molecules to make sure that the strength of the cells and that the communication between the cells works so much better. And we need to grow that protective layer around the brain. And this is one of the only products that I know can literally do that. So why is it important that we take this supplement? Don't our bodies make this for ourselves? Well, you know, they actually do. Many of you know about something called glycolysis, where we take sugar and insulin, and in the mitochondria of our cell, it's like the powerhouse of the cell. Those two things come together and gives us energy. It's called ATP, and this energy is vital to keep our bodies alive and to keep the charge going on our nerves, to make the nerves function and fire. Now, we literally produce our body's weight every day in that ATP, so it's super important. We produce it and burn it up for fuel every single day. That's the extent of what they teach on glycolysis, but what they're not saying is that engine that makes that energy, that the sugar and the insulin turns into ATP, it has an exhaust pipe. And out of that exhaust pipe is what comes redox signaling molecules. For decades, we thought it was a waste product. And then we learned that this is vital to the function of each and every one of our cells to be able to make that communication network happen so we can communicate from cell to cell to cell and know how to defend ourselves and how to keep ourselves healthy and alive. So for those of you that are new to this product, don't worry, it takes about 8 weeks before you're going to get the full effect of it. And then if you ever stop taking it, it takes 8 weeks for you to return to the state that you're at now. So this is definitely one of those products that years ago made it into my inner circle of things that I do for myself and that my family does for themselves, and for each and every patient that we're trying to restore proper nervous system and proper brain function. This is a critical nutrient that we want to make sure that you're taking in order to help us get the best results possible. So I hope that helps, and until next time, have a great day.
Okay, that was awesome. I like that. I had just a friend of mine sent that to me recently, and I thought I like this take on this. And as a hospice nurse, when I was going into the hospitals, a lot of the patients I would admit into the hospital had challenges related to this type of issue. So very, very serious. Okay, so I'm going to introduce B. I'm going to try to do her bio justice. She's a very busy lady. I asked her how she manage all this, and she had an excellent answer, and I will let her tell you that later, but I'm just going to read through her bio real quickly. Okay, so B. Harrison, she's been married to Bob Harrison for 54 years, and they live in Van Cleve, Mississippi, which is on the coastal area. They've been blessed by God with one son, Rob, and he has a 20-year-old son, Gabriel, and a 18-year-old daughter, Isabella. Along with her husband, they are considered her world. So her first career consisted of 25 years of employment with the International Paper Company. And she said, although she made a good salary, she always knew she would rather decide how much she wanted to work and when, don't we all? Currently, she's the president and CEO of the Encore Group, Inc., which was established in December 2001. That is a television and radio production and a media placement business. And as the owner, she's worn every hat in the business. Her greatest joy came when having her own television show that's called That's What I Like About the South. I think I would have loved that. They had a great run for 18 years on Fox 25 in Gulfport, Mississippi. Today, she continues to handle advertising for a great seafood restaurant in Biloxi, Mississippi, a nationwide tax service, and an incredible ice cream / candy parlor. Her path is easy at this point, I can imagine, and it keeps her on her toes. But she says a real passion nowadays is ASEA. Introduced to ASEA by a dear friend in June of 21, it saved her husband from chronic agony stemming from his back. And then in January of this year, he suffered a neurological event, and they're eternally grateful that he had been taking redox for a year and a half already. His story is nothing short of amazing, and God's answer to prayers and God's redox molecules have made all the difference. Since 2021, she has met so many great people, and her circle of family is now worldwide. It's a perfect fit for her because she loves people and she loves to help others. She chooses to be happy. She chooses ASEA and hope in a bottle. Okay, B, I'm going to let you take it away. Where'd she go? I lost her. B?
I'm here.
There you are. Okay.
Trying to get myself going here. Oh, there,
That's okay.
there we are. There we
Good.
are. Well, hi, everybody. Gosh, was that me you were talking about? That sounded like a lot of stuff.
That's why I'm asking, how did you do this?
You know, you really can't even think about what you do. You just have to go through life and do it. And when you look back, you wonder, how in the world did I do all of that? But somehow we get through, because that's just who we are. And in this business, you have to be special. And just know that if you're on this call tonight, you are special, because there's so many people in the world that don't see what you're seeing. they don't understand what we have our hands on, and they're just not happy as we are. And I want everybody to be happy like we are. But let me tell you about my story. One night, my husband and I were driving along I-10, and I got a telephone call from my friend Sherry Fry, and she said, "B, I have found something that will help Bob's back." Now, she knew that my husband had had 3 back surgeries, but he had just re-injured his back, and he was hurting so bad. He was in absolute agony. He couldn't walk across the room without breaking out in a sweat. It was just really sad. And for 3 days and nights, he sat on the edge of the recliner with just one part of his hip on the chair and his leg stretched out in front of him because he couldn't get comfortable. So when I received this phone call, the first thing I said to her is, "Sherry, is this network marketing?" And she said, "B, this is going to help Bob's back." I said, "Sherry, you know that you and I looked each other eyeball to eyeball, and we said, we are never, ever, ever, never, ever, 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 never going to do another network marketing business. Didn't we?" And she said, "Yeah, but B, this is going to help Bob's back." And I said, "Okay, what do I need to do to get it?" And she said, "Well, hold on just a minute." And she had just got in that day. So she didn't know anything either. And she had Sarah Wilt on the phone. She's my upline triple diamond. I love her so much. Anyway, she's great. And so she asked me, she said, "What about the videos did you like?" And I said, "Videos? There's a video?" And she said, "Well, you haven't seen a video?" And I said, "No." And she said, well, what do you know about Redox?" And I said, "I don't know anything. All I know is that Sherry said it'll help my husband's back, and I'll do anything. I will stand on my head in the corner and stack greasy BBs if it will help him." And she said, "Well, okay." And I said, "What do I need to do?" And she said, "Well, just give me your credit card." So I gave her my credit card number, and I got off the phone, and my husband said, "What did you just do?" And I said, "I don't know, but whatever it is going to help your back." He said, "Oh, okay." So the product came in, and I called and found out how to use it, and he started drinking it. And after about 3 weeks, I noticed a major change in him. And he was moving easier. Excuse me. Excuse me. He was moving easier. He was starting to do a little bit of work outside again because he's real active. He just turned 77 a couple of weeks ago, but he's very active. He's like me. We just always going and doing. And I saw the difference in him. And I had bad inflammation in my right thumb. And I was rubbing the Renew 28 gel on him, on his back and his leg, and all the way down the bottom of his foot. So I thought, well, I'm just going to do this on my thumb and let's just see what it does. And I did that for 4 days and nights. I rubbed it on just religiously. And on the morning of the 5th day, I reached for my coffee cup and it didn't hurt anymore. And so I thought, wow. Well, if this works as good from the outside in, what will it do from the inside out? So then I started taking the Redox. It wasn't long before I no longer had high blood pressure. My blood pressure was about 158 over 135, which is not good. And it, for years and years, it was real low, like 110, 112 over 70, 80, something like that. So it's back down to that. It's about 112 over 85. I think that was the last one I had. But at night when I go to bed, my legs don't want to get up and leave the bed while I'm still there like they used to do. I don't have that urgency to go to the bathroom like I was experiencing. I have that no longer. When I would eat anything acidic, any time of the day, it didn't matter. As soon as I laid down that night, the acid would just fill my throat and just set me on fire. I no longer have that. The ringing in my ears is gone. My eyes are better. And I used to think before ASEA, I thought that I was healthy. And the reason I thought that was because I was never sick, but I wasn't healthy. I had all these things going on. And Cindy, you touched on it when you said Do you feel your vitamins working? Do you feel your cholesterol medicine working? Do you feel any of that working? Well, if something is not real strong, I always just learn to just, accept it. It'll go away and move on. But a lot of these things, I'm so glad that I don't have them anymore. And Rebecca Wing said one time, we're just blessed to not know the things that we would have had without redox. But the best part of my story is this: on January the 20th of this year, my husband and I had planned to go to Orlando, and we were going to get up at 3 o'clock to get ready so we could leave at 4 and get down there in plenty of time for this meeting. And both of our alarms were set for 3 o'clock. And when they went off, he usually just jumps up like a jack in a box. And me, I'm the one that beats it to death, snooze, snooze, snooze. Well, I turned my alarm off, but he didn't. And I reached over and I touched him. I said, Bobby, turn your alarm off. It's really annoying me. And he made a really strange sound. And I knew something was wrong. And I jumped up and I turned the lamp on and I ran around the side of the bed. And when I turned his lamp on, he was just staring at the ceiling. And it was like he was not even there. At first, I really thought he was gone. And then I shook his arm and I said, Bobby, can you hear me? And he struggled, but he managed to move his eyes toward me. And I had my phone in my hand and I dialed 911. And they came and got him, took him to the local hospital here in Ocean Springs. And when they got him there, they said, we think your husband needs to go to Ochsner. So we're going to airlift him to Ochsner's Hospital in New Orleans. So they did that. They were going to perform this procedure on him. And so, it was very scary because he was paralyzed temporarily, his entire right side. He couldn't do anything. His eye wouldn't move. His face was just stationary. This side of his mouth, he kept trying to open his mouth. And it was very scary, very, very scary. And so he was in the emergency room pretty much all that day and into about 9:30 that night before they could get a room ready for him. And he had not spoken all day, couldn't communicate, nothing. And prayers were going around the world. My SIA family, y'all just kicked in and everybody was praying for him. And I could just feel the warmth of all those prayers. And that just gave me the strength that I needed. And Big Copycat Keith knows that because he was in on all of that too. And so is Lynn. And, some people had met Bob when we went to Pinehurst back in November. And I'm so glad that they had an opportunity to meet him. But anyway, after we got into the room and he went to sleep right away. And I was on this little couch next to the bed, and every hour the nurses would come in. All day that day they did it, and that night they came in every hour, and they would ask him, do you know who you are? And he couldn't answer them. 24 hours, almost to the minute of when I discovered him, the nurse came in and she said, do you know who you are? And he said, Robert. Oh, y'all, you have no idea what that did for me. It was just the most wonderful thing. And from that point, every few hours, he was able to conquer something else that was going on. About 5 hours later, he had taken a little nap, and I was laying there just watching him. And he said, look, and he moved his leg. So that, that was like, oh my gosh, every one of these little steps was amazing. And then it was his foot. And then he was able to lift his leg a little bit, bend his leg a little bit. And it was just one thing after the next. But on the 5th day, every day when the doctors came in, y'all, this was amazing. The head doctor, Dr. Camillo, said, I've been the head of the stroke team here at Ochsner's Hospital for 23 years. I've never seen anybody respond as quickly after having this kind of event happen. I've never seen them respond like this, and I don't understand it. And I said, I do. Can I tell you what it is? And he said, yes, please. I said, it's a twofold God thing. Number one, people are praying for this man all over the world, and God has heard their prayers. He has heard my prayers. He has heard us pleading, and he has answered that prayer. But it's also a God thing, because for a year and a half, this man has been replacing redox cell signaling molecules that have been depleted in his body. And so the minute this event happened in his brain, his immune system knew exactly what to do and where to go, and they've been busy. And it's just been wonderful. Today, y'all, we are, what, 2 months, almost, well, like 2.5 months out. Well, today he cut the grass. We have 7.5 acres, and he cuts about 4 acres of that on the tractor, the riding mower, and the push mower, and the edging. He did that today. Now, his right hand, he still has problem with it. Is swollen. It's really swollen, and he doesn't have the ability yet to squeeze anything, but that's coming because he goes to therapy 3 times a week. So I am so grateful for his recovery. But without the redox, I know for a fact he would not have recovered as quickly as he has. And I just thank God that Sherry called me even after we swore to each other we would never do this again. But we're going to be on redox until Jesus takes us home. And I hope everybody that is on this call will understand the importance of this. And when you get started on this, don't stop taking it. And if you're brand new on this call and you haven't started yet, don't start out saying, I'm going to try this. You start out saying, this is going to work for me, because it works for everybody else. It's scientifically impossible for it not to work. So, Cindy, I know I've just talked way too much, but I just, it's just a big story. It's just a big story. That's all.
It absolutely is a big story. You didn't talk too much at all, Bea. That was perfect. I mean, I could feel your passion. And then when I first heard your story in Charlotte, you had me crying. It's amazing.
Yeah, I'm better at controlling my emotions now. But as soon as the call's over, I'll probably cry. So.
That's okay. You did great. So I have a question. How much was he taking before his last event, his last incident?
He was taking 12 ounces a day, and now he takes 16 to 20 ounces a day.
Okay. Wow.
And
That
he's
is-
using the gel. Also, let me say this too. When we were in the emergency room, they had put a tube down his throat, and so he couldn't drink the redox. But I took the Renew 28 gel, and I rubbed it on his temples. I rubbed it on his head. Bless his heart. His hair was all matted and stuff, but I just rubbed that gel where the event was supposed to have taken place in his brain. I rubbed it on his carotid arteries. I rubbed it on his spine in the back. I rubbed it everywhere that I thought would be important. Everywhere they could stick a needle. I rubbed it on the back of his knees. I rubbed it on his feet, between his toes. I don't even know how many tubes of gel, but what was so neat about it was the trip we were going on. We were going to Mike Beverly's event in Orlando that weekend. And so I already had everything packed, and I always take lots of gel and lots of redox with us when we travel. And so when I had to go to New Orleans, I had to run home and get my stuff, but I was already packed. And the redox was already in the truck. So I didn't even have to worry about that. So I had all this gel, and I mean, I went through, I don't know, I probably went through 10 tubes in the 3 or 4 days, and I had my son bring me some more. I mean, because I was just everywhere. I was just putting on him everywhere. So it's really important to do that too.
It is. Yeah, the twofold double doing it is definitely a plus whenever we have those challenges. That's just such an amazing story. I want to open it up for any questions anyone has. Feel free to either unmute or raise your hand, whatever works better for y'all. And I know
So
we have
Dee, I
some
have a
guests
question.
on.
This is a nurse. I'm just going to ask just simply this. Being a nurse, I'm just curious about what caused the event. Was it related to a clot or just a constricting of the artery or vein?
They don't even know.
Mhm.
They, because he's never been a smoker, never been a drinker. He's not overweight. He he takes a little tiny blood pressure pill. Um, but other than that, no, he didn't take a lot of medication. They were just puzzled. They had no idea. But the way the event happened was the reason they took him to Ochsner's in New Orleans because they were going to perform this procedure where they go through the carotid artery up into the brain and pull the clot out. But when they got him there, after the doctor looked at the clot and the way that it was set up, because it was like there was a main artery, like the hand would be the main artery here, and then there were three vessels that like this, and the clot was, the base of it was here, but there was some in each one of these vessels. And so they don't even know how long it had been there. But the doctor said the risks were too great. And I said, good. If you think the risk is too great, then it is. So I'm glad you didn't do that. So, but
Amazing.
it was
What?
ischemic thrombotic.
Yeah.
That's
So
what it
this,
was.
well, there's some people on the call that don't know what we're talking about, the ASEA. So, on the back of our bottle, which one of it says it helps maintain cardiovascular health and supports arterial elasticity. So he had already, like you said, B, he had already had this was on board, which probably, saved his life,
Mhm.
I see some hands raised. I think I saw Betsy's first, maybe, and I see Barbara and then Teresa, and I know we have a long list. So Betsy, do you want to
Okay.
unmute and go ahead?
Hi, this is Betsy Gatrigoff, Betsy and Jim Goff in Southwest Michigan with Dr. Larry Cairns and Dr. Maureen Hayes team. Amazing molecules and biosignalsmart.com. So I've been using the Redox April 16th. That's my 2-year anniversary. And my husband doesn't like to drink it or taste of the pool water. And he was able to have some improvement, discomfort in his right knee. If I can't get him to drink it, I don't know how much gel I should be putting on him 3 times in 5 minutes, like 3 times a day, the front and back of his neck and on the right knee, the kneecap and then the inner side of the right knee. And then because of my mom had a similar shaking of the hands like Michael J. Fox, Muhammad Ali, I want to have healthy DNA molecules and cells. So I would like to have the health benefits from more redox. So if I'm drinking 7-8 ounces in the morning, do you think I should bump it up and drink, 8 ounces twice a day, and then, just lots of gel in between, and just continue to do that? So what was your husband's first name? I forgot to catch his first name.
Bob.
Robert Bob. Okay. God bless
Yeah.
you. And
Thank
all
you.
the nurses.
Thank you so much. Well, you know what? Tell your husband. How old is your husband? How old is your husband?
We are married 20 years. I'm 52 and my husband is 53. So we're turning August and September. We're turning 53 and 54 this year.
Okay.
And so my husband, Jim, this is Nurse B. Harrison. We're on the Zoom call. Just say hi.
Hello.
Say hi, Miss Nurse B.
Hello.
So we're married 20 years.
Well, congratulations.
Thank
I've been
you.
married long enough I could be your parents. My son is 53.
They're in heaven, so you can't quite be my mom, but
Let me speak to your husband. Tell him to come back.
she wants to talk to you.
Okay. So you don't like the taste of the Redox
The
liquid?
redox molecules.
I don't like to drink a big quantity of it, no.
Well, you know what?
You can do maybe 2
Sometimes-
ounces.
Look, look, when you're an adult, sometimes you have to do things that you don't really like, but it's for your own good. And so what I did, I didn't like it either. So when I first started drinking
so
it,
close.
I would hold my breath and
Hold
I
your
would
breath or
just
hold your
toss
nose.
it back. Yeah, I would just hold my breath and I'd just
Hold
toss
your
it back.
nose.
Yep. And swallow it. And now I don't even pay any attention to the taste of it. It took a little while for me to get used to it, but I don't even think about it. I just drink it and know that it's working and it's good. You'll get used to it. Trust me. Trust me.
That's right, sweetie. All right. Thank you. This is April 16th is the 2-year anniversary with the redox. So
Very
I'm
good.
praise God that Dr. Larry Cairns kept emailing me. And when I had the prayers, I opened up the email by God's grace, 2 years ago, started back on the molecules because I started at 2 ounces twice a day in 2015, 2016. I would forget the second 2 ounces. Now I'm 52 and have a pacemaker and the heart rhythm challenges. So I still comply with some medical advice, but I'm trying to boost the redox for myself and my husband's autoimmune challenge with the inflammation. I want him to benefit. So thank you, blessings, and happy Easter week. And blessings to everybody in the ASEA team family. We love you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Betsy. Someone also put in the chat, Betsy, if he could just put it in his mouth and swish it. A lot of it gets absorbed in the mouth. So if he could swish it and then spit it out, at least he's getting some in there. And then as it starts working, I think he won't notice the taste anymore. I think the more
Like Dr.
it's
Hayes
working.
lets her dad take it in his mouth and spit it out. So
Right.
15 to 30 seconds. So even if he can only handle 15 seconds, does 80% absorption go in the mouth within 15 seconds?
I don't know about the time
Approximately
frame for
80%?
sure.
Within 5 seconds. That's what Tyler Norton told me.
Oh, the minimum is 5 seconds. Oh, okay. Now I know. 5 seconds. That's all he has to tolerate is 5
You know
seconds.
what?
So
If
he
you
can
already
even
got it
spit
in
it
your
out.
mouth, look, why spit it out? Just swallow it. The
Yeah.
Right.
taste
Because the
only
taste
lasts
is
for
only
a second.
the smell
Just
and
swallow
taste
it.
is related.
Marita said if you spit it out, save it and put it on your plants. That's a thought.
That's right. Put it on your plan. That's good.
Okay,
That's
I think
good.
I saw Barbara next. I may be out of line. If someone's
Okay.
not in
Hey,
the right order, just tell me.
real quick, Cindy and Doria, this is an awesome call. I appreciate you doing it every week. B, I really, really appreciate your energy and enthusiasm and sharing your husband's story. I'm curious of how much redox you usually take a day to keep up your vibrant self.
Okay. Well, I drink. It's hard for me to tell you because I drink it all during the day. I start in the morning. First thing I do is I go into the kitchen and I get I have a little wine glass and I know that it holds 8 ounces. And so I fill it up and I just toss it back. And then I, do whatever stuff. And then I drink my coffee about 30 minutes later. But during the day, I will drink, I'll drink 1 or 2 more of those glasses. And then at night, so sometimes I'll drink a whole bottle in a day. And sometimes I'll drink 8 ounces, 4 in the morning and 4 at night. But if I'm going to have a real busy day, if I know I've got a lot of things that I need to get done, I'll just drink more. And I've got a lot of it. I have a big restock order that comes in every month, and so I just drink it. So,
All right. Well, thank you for sharing.
oh, you're welcome. You're welcome.
I don't know who was next. Teresa, maybe, and Copycat Keith's on there, and then we have Alicia and Stan. Whoever wants to
Okay.
unmute and go next.
I'm here. It's
Okay.
Teresa. So B and her husband Bob, my husband Bill and I met on the Ascent trip. And we got to have a meal together and such a lovely couple. We had such a good time together. So I was shocked to see it was B telling about Bob having that incident, but glad to know he's doing so well. That is
Thank you.
great. And thank you, B, for not sparing. You did not spare the gel. You kept putting it on, and look what happened.
I know.
We know. Just keep doing it. And so that is great. And Betsy, I have a gentleman who's been on CF for a year, and he had that shaking thing going on, and he's doing beautifully. He's 83 years old, and his wife told me tonight when he got on it, it was right around Easter last year, she thought he was in his last days. And now he doesn't even use a cart when he got, one of those little carts that you ride on in the Walmart or Costco. He doesn't need it anymore.
Wow.
Isn't that wonderful? And now
Yeah.
he's got his brother on it who had horrible pain every day from the, what everybody has, especially as you get older. And they went to visit him, and they left him a bottle of ASEA. And he told me the first couple of days he didn't try it, but he was starting to have a lot of pain. So he had some, and the next day he had no pain. And his wife has the memory disease that people get when they get older, and he takes care of her. He's 85 years old, and he's her full-time caretaker. And he said, will it help my wife with that? And I said, I don't know. I said, I didn't know it would help your brother the way it did. I didn't know it would help you the way it did. So he started giving it to her, and his sister-in-law told me that right away she fed herself a meal, and it was something she couldn't do. So he's so excited, and we've got something everybody needs to know about. And so it's our duty to let them know, and then see beautiful things like what happened with Bob Harrison.
Yeah.
Yeah. So tell him we said hello, B.
I will, Teresa. I certainly will. And the Renew 28, we rub that on his right hand constantly in his arm so he can get that feeling back. But also, it has a tendency to dry it out a little bit because we use so much of it. So guess what I use? The skincare moisturizer. It is phenomenal. It really works good. And it's got redox in it too.
Like I said, I don't really know who to go with here. Kathleen, I know you were unmuted for a minute. You want to go next? She on there?
Hi, B. We're kind of neighbors. I'm living on the West Bank of New Orleans, and I'm with People's Health, and we use Ochsner. So next time, I hope you don't have to come back, but if you do, for some reason, please let me know.
I will.
I just started this. I haven't had an opportunity to actually take it yet because I'm visiting my cousin over here in Texas.
Mhm.
I go back this week, the end of the week, so I'll be able to start it then. But
Yeah, open up that bottle and just drink.
can't wait. And the pain. I just had a hip replacement, and I'm 9 months post-op. So the pain and the numbness, the stinging, the tingling, and I can't wait to use the Renew 28 for that.
Oh yeah. Just slather it on there.
I will, honey. I'll do her. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for sharing with us too.
Oh, you're welcome.
Okay,
Thank
how
you,
about Alicia and Stan? Maybe with you next. Just unmute.
Okay, I was trying to get my
Okay.
mouth there. But hi, you all. We're Alicia and Stan Phillips from Stone Mountain, Georgia. And Doria introduced me to the product. I met her at a business meeting and Dr. Bill. And so it was just a pleasure meeting her. And she began to tell me about the Redox product. So I'm always open to any health, anything that can help outside of medicine. I'm in the medical field myself. I have worked in the medical field with case management, internal medicine physicians. And so my husband, 8 years ago, went through diabetic amputation of his right leg due to a foot ulcer. And so that leg was amputated. And so that being said, I noticed a few weeks ago, he had been doing very well. A few ulcers, places that had broke out on the leg. And so he went to the doctor. Of course, nothing much had happened. Last Wednesday, I noticed 2 places on the foot. And I said to myself, we cannot go through this again. And immediately I thought about, let me call Doria. And so I called her, and she said, she began to tell me what we needed to do for him to take the product to use the Renew 28. He began to start that on Friday with 4 ounces, me applying the Renew 28 to those places on his leg. We're on day 4, and they have dried up.
And I love the taste.
And I have to say that this is, I don't want to cry. I don't want to be emotional, but you know, I've been in the medical field, and I hear a lot of things, and I've seen a lot of things with our patients, and to see my husband go through this, and to see God turn this around, because I knew the answer when we would take him to the doctor. They would just want to cut off the other leg. It's just no, you know, he doesn't have a vein there, to be honest, because that was moved to the leg that needed the good vein. So, you know, essentially it's like in their eyes, it's nothing else left to do. And I just absolutely said no, and to give this a try. I began to take it myself. He's diabetic, I'm diabetic. This morning, his blood sugar was 98. 92. Mine was 144, which was absolutely wonderful. He eats better than I eat. So when I took the 4 ounces, I had a great experience with the restroom for 24 hours, but I feel so much better. Just the inflammation that is in your gut. I told Doria today, me and him both, I haven't seen him have this much energy within 8 years. And so he is feeling so much better. And I would just have to say, just give it a try. You know, it has a different taste, but you know, the medicine, you know, sometimes that we take has a difficult taste. So, you know, I would just say, give it a try. We have been talking to people about this, inflammation problems that you're having, and just to see him turn around with this situation, because I took care of his foot going through the thing that he went through. It was not an easy process, you know, hyperbaric therapy, all of those things, you know, trying all of these different things, nothing worked. And this, I've never seen anything work this fast. They want to call. And I've never seen anything work this fast. And so we're just grateful. And I just thank you, Doria, so much. And she is just God sent to me and my husband. And so we're just looking forward to, you know, what's happening next. And so I took pictures and everything so that we could see his progress with the wounds and all of that progress going on. And so, you know, I'll be sharing those with Doria. And so we're just excited. So thank you all so much.
That's awesome, Alicia. That's an amazing story. We may have to have you on one night, you and your husband as well. So big copycat Keith. He was one of our former guest.
Thank you. Super job. And B, this is a relationship business. And man, do you relate with all of us, and that's awesome. I don't have a question, but I will say, if you've been in for a long time or you're just looking at this, some of the things I got from B tonight was hope in a bottle. If you want to take away from that, B, you already do with your story, that's fine. But this is hope in a bottle. I got that you claim that these are God's molecules, and you were smart enough to have enough. How do you take? You take whatever it takes, man. These are you are smart enough, man. I love it. And to keep it going, whatever it takes. That's awesome. That's a lesson for us. Thank you for sharing.
Oh, you're so welcome. I love all of you guys. You're just special. That's all there is to it. I said it in the beginning of this meeting, and I'd say it again. Everyone here is special. It takes special people to see what this is and to take advantage of it.
There was one question in the chat, then I'll go to Susan. So Kathy had asked about the man that was shaking. How much was he taking? I think someone commented about someone with
8 ounces a day.
Okay.
From the beginning, he took 8 ounces a day. This is a man who could barely get off the couch, And on the same day he drank his first 8 ounces, he mowed the front yard. And it just has continued from there. This is the happiest family, you know, their daughter, he's 82. No, he's 83. And his daughter says, Mom, you've added 5 years to his life at least. So, and he's happy. His face had frozen. He was that far along that he couldn't smile anymore. And now he laughs and smiles and has a big time.
Yeah. Amazing. All right, let's go with Susan, and then we'll grab Bishop, and I can't read the name. It's in the dark. I can't get in the glow, but we'll get them in next. Susan?
Yeah, my name is Susan Miller. I'm in upstate New York. I just signed on to SIA on Saturday, and my box is arriving on Friday. But I talked to Dr. Cynthia, so I've gone through different natural supplements with her, and I've done some research, but I'm not finding out, do I refrigerate this after I open it, or do I just like leave it on the counter? And I know it tells everybody to start with 2 ounces in the morning and 2 ounces at night, but I'm hearing so many other people are taking 12, 16, or plus they have the pouches. So I'm just wondering how to take it.
All right, so I can answer that. So Susan, how old are you?
46. And I, like 5.5 months ago, I got picked up by a passenger on my city bus and got thrown into the field. So I'm dealing with a whole bunch of injuries that they are still yet to diagnose.
Okay, so the recommended dose is 2 ounces twice a day, but if you're not seeing results, or are feeling like, well, I don't want to say feeling results, but if you're not seeing results, then you up your dose. So what we've done, all of us have kind of found our sweet spot. So like I'm 66 and I drink between 10 and 12 ounces every day, sometimes more. If I'm, like B said, if I have a busy day or something's going on around out in the atmosphere, then I'll take a little bit more, but and as far as what the other part, you can either refrigerate it or put it on your counter. Okay, so is that answering your question?
Yeah, I think so. So it's
Okay.
either or, it doesn't matter.
Did you
Is
hear?
it either refrigerate or put it on counter?
No, you
It
can
doesn't
take it. You can take it anyway. What mine's room temperature, but some people like to put it in refrigerator and drink it cold. But it's really your preference.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I need to see it.
So is it Bishop and Evangelist?
Griffin.
It's Cheney.
Griffin?
Cheney. My first name is Cheney.
Okay.
How you doing tonight? Thank you so much for this opportunity. We're guests of Lisa and Stan. She told me about the product today, but I want to ask, because I don't know if you heard of the eye disease retinitis pigmentosus, where it takes all the nerves from the side. You have no peripheral vision. So she was telling me about that, how some people have said it has improved their vision. So I want to do for other aches and pain, but my main concern is, have anyone shared about how it works for their vision?
I have not a major issue with my vision. I just wear reading glasses. So I do put it in my eyes twice a day with the dropper, or I'll take the bottle and spray it in my eyes, same thing, or do both ways. And I don't have to wear the reading glasses as often. Now, if the light is dark, I may have to put them on, but I can do a lot better reading without picking them up, I've noticed. So, and I've heard a lot of people say something similar to that. Doria, have you heard anything?
Yeah, so I had floaters, and it helped with my floaters. So again, we have to reiterate that this is not meant to treat, diagnose, cure any medical condition, but you have eye cells. We have cells in our kidney. We have cells in our skin, cells, in our heart, in our muscles. So, wherever there is dysfunction in a cell, then the molecules will work. Like B said, what did you say, B? They work every time, right?
Every time.
It's scientifically impossible for them not to work. Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Does she drink it or spray it in her eye?
Yeah,
Both.
I would encourage most of drinking it as well, you know, but you can also spray it. I do both.
I do both.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you. so
All
much.
right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, who else are we missing, or is there anything else in the chat that I missed? I'll look back up.
I think we're getting
Hey,
at the top of the hour.
can I send her to a story on Real Redox results. Bill Perry's story is on number 81 on Real Redox results. There's one about vision in there.
Okay. Real. Say it again. Real results.
Yeah, so Alicia can send that to you. Alicia, I will send it to her and she can send it to you.
Yeah,
Okay.
number 81.
Or we can put it in the chat box too.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Sure.
Any other questions for B?
Oh, I have another question. How long, if I order it tonight, how long will it take for me to get it?
Are you located in Georgia?
Yes, Decatur, Georgia.
Okay. Doria, how about your shipping? I know mine takes about a week from the time the order goes in to the time I get it.
Yeah, so the order goes out every Saturday. So if you
Mhm.
order it tonight or even tomorrow, it'll be shipped out Saturday.
Oh,
And
okay,
it takes a week. Yes.
okay.
You send us the information how to order it?
Or Lisa will.
Or
Yeah,
we-
Lisa will. Yeah,
All right. Thank you.
you're welcome. So what I put in the chat is the realredoxresults.com site and the password's redox, and that's what Teresa was referring to. And we typically will show that video in our Zoom, but we wanted to share the other video because it was more pertinent to what B was going to be sharing about this evening.
Mhm.
Any other questions or anyone I missed with their hand up? Because some hands are still up. I'm not sure it's from previous or if you have another question.
I think Stan wanted to say something. I was talking so
Sure.
much. I think he wanted to say something.
No,
Come
I
on,
want-
Stan.
I wanted to say that I'm really blessed with your meeting Dory, and I'm blessed with this happening to me. And when my wife gave it to me, it tastes it's a quiet taste, but it's not bad. And I'm looking for it every day taking it. I wish I could take it like 5 times a day.
It won't hurt you.
So it's
Won't hurt.
yeah, you gotta get used to it, but it's good. It's good to me.
Cindy,
They-
just a reminder for everybody, if you go to redoxguide.com, that's a good tool to use to figure out how much you need. Redoxguide.com.
Absolutely. Thank you, Barbara.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And you know, the taste is different for everyone. So all of you on the Zoom tonight, if I had you each take a taste of this, you know, of the ASEA Redox, it would taste differently for everyone. And it is because of the degree of inflammation that is happening in your body. So like right when I first started taking it, it was like, it tasted more salty to me. What did it taste to you like you too, Cindy?
Kind of like, I guess, pool water. Yeah, to a
So-
point. Yeah.
So
But I don't
now
even
it
notice the
doesn't
taste
taste like
anymore.
anything, you know?
It doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
But that
It just
means
has
it's healing.
salty, yeah, kind of a salty taste to me, you know. It tastes like pool water.
I did.
Yeah,
Sounds like to me.
unless you said everyone has different, but it tastes kind of a little salty taste.
And what about you, B? What did it taste like to you?
Well, it just tastes like beach water to me, you know. But I live in the country, and so we have well water, and we have really, really good water. So really, it tastes like city water to me. And so I said, well, you know, just tastes like city water, and so I'll just get used to it. And so I did, and I just toss it back, and I don't even pay any attention to it. So, you know, you'll get beyond it. We get beyond a lot worse than the taste of this. And the good thing about it is, even if you don't like the taste of it,
Mhm.
Once you swallow it, the taste is gone within just a few seconds. There's no aftertaste at all.
Mhm. That's true. Any other questions or anything? B, you've been such a wonderful testimony. We appreciate you coming on and sharing that. Like I said, I was just so touched with your story in Charlotte. I wanted everybody to hear. So that's
B, you were,
amazing.
I'm sorry, B, you were a nurse, right? Or how did you know how to
No.
help your husband? Oh, but it was
No.
prayers and redox, and your husband was saved and spared.
I'll tell you what, I'm sitting in my office and I have a flyer on my door on the door of my supply cabinet that I've had since 2002. And it says how to identify someone that's having a stroke. And I knew immediately when I looked at him that he was having a stroke. But it's because that little flyer's up there. And every time I go to that supply cabinet, I would just always just glance at it. And I knew that time was of the essence. And so everything just fell into place. If a terrible thing like this had to happen, it couldn't have happened in a better way and had a better outcome. And so we're just blessed. And thank you so much, Cindy, for inviting me. It's been wonderful meeting all you new people. I love it when I get new family members.
Yes,
Thank you.
it's just been a great call. Appreciate everything and appreciate my Doria. Doria has been a blessing to so many, and I like to hear that feedback from everyone on tonight. She's awesome.
All right.
Cindy, can you go ahead and say the waiver again?
The disclaimer? Is that what you're talking about? The disclaimer?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, redox is not intended to diagnose, treat, or cure any disease. Basically, it just gives the body what it needs to help itself heal by supplying the redox molecules that we were born with. So it's like I tell a lot of people, you wouldn't turn down a blood transfusion if you were low on blood cells. So don't turn down an infusion of redox because you're low. We're all low at this point in our lives, I can assure you. So great call. We appreciate everyone. If there's no more questions, we will close it out and everyone have a great night. And next week, we will have a surprise guest on. So join us Tuesday night at 7 Central.
Will you be able to post on the ASEA United Facebook page?
The video?
Yes, ma'am.
We haven't yet, but I don't know. We'll have to find out if we're allowed to do that.
Yeah, we'll have a recording that we'll send out as soon enough. We'll be posting it to YouTube. Hopefully within the next couple of weeks, all our videos will be up on YouTube.
And are you making a nurse talk Facebook group page to invite people to your group Facebook page, or do you do that yet?
I don't do that yet. We've just been sending out the flyer or either the link to people that we think might be interested, and we put it on. We do post the flyer on Lead from the Front and on our personal Facebook pages. So if you're on Lead from the Front, you should see the flyers with the link.
Yeah. So if you were invited tonight by a special guest like Bishop and the Griffins there, if you were invited, please get back to the people that invited you on this evening so they can give you more information, send you to some more tools that you can look at. And, it's a wonderful technology. As you heard the beautiful stories tonight, it is hope in the bottle. And so we thank you for, staying on as long as you have, and y'all have a good night.
Well, I do see one hand. I don't know that we addressed. So Farah, is that one that we've already heard from?
No, you did hear from me. Thank you for the call. It's a beautiful call. I wanted to know that I've just tried to go in Real Redox results, and it's asking for a password.
Yes, Redox, lowercase, REDOX.
Okay, that sounds good. And I had one more question. Have you heard of, I've been taking this for some time now, a few years, and I wanted to know, one time I heard a doctor was saying that it was the redox molecules only last for a specific amount of time, but I never could remember how long it did in the body, because I was really looking, and everybody that I shared it with, I was sharing with them that they should, kind of take it on an intravenous level, as opposed to just trying to take one big gulp at a time. And so once I heard him say that, I kind of just reiterated that. What did you feel about that?
Well, I know obviously when these are in the body, they're literally fleeting. I mean, they're like split second as far as their activation. So as far as once they get into the body, I can't really answer how long those are hanging out, but I think multiple times a day is good. I do that myself sometimes. I definitely wouldn't do it just once a day. I would do it at least twice and then multiple in between if you can do that.
That's wonderful. Thank
What
you
about
all.
you, Dory? Do you know anything differently?
No, I agree. And it's not meant for intravenous use. I mean, you can
Yeah.
put it, in your eyes and your ears, and you can put it, we've had people put it in
No, I didn't.
feeding tubes, and we've had
I think she
people.
meant intermittent.
No, I
Right.
didn't mean.
Yeah.
I didn't mean it
Oh.
that way. I
Oh,
meant to
okay.
take it from
Well,
a
we've had people
perspective
ask
of
us that.
intravenous.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God.
No, I meant little bits at a time and smaller bits. That's what I
Yeah.
meant.
Right, yeah.
Thank
In
you.
fact, I
appreciate
think
it.
people that have a lot of health challenges, if you can break it up, I was telling Lisa this too, that drink it like every 2 hours, just like if you were taking a medication every 2 hours.
Yes,
Do it
that's
that
what I
way.
meant.
Yeah, but we've had people ask us that question, can you give it intravenously? So I was just making it clear.
Oh, never, never, never will we try to be doctors over here. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. If there's no other questions, we're going to sign off and we will hopefully see and invite other people to next Tuesday night. We'd love to see. We like feedback. We'd like to hear people's testimonials. So have a good night and we'll see you next Tuesday.
Thank you.
Good night.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Bea. Thanks for
Bea.
your time. We
Good night.
appreciate it.
Thank you, ladies.
Stop the recording.
Thank you. God bless you.